Hi, this is Dodger and you're watching my show with a new intro. Anyways, moving on to more important stuff. Did you hear we were bought by Disney? So I'm kind of like a Disney princess now. Or not, you know? For our first piece of news today, I have to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because my heart hurts. So there's like a new trailer that went out for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Angry Joe showed it to me and we were both very upset watching it, but I realized that when I voiced my upsetness on Twitter, there were so many people going, I don't understand, what's the big problem? It looks fine. No, it does not. And let me tell you why. Do you see this? Okay, not only do they look terrifying, that's not really the big point, right? Like, the way that they're going about this, they had to look a little bit realistic-y, and I don't actually have a huge issue with that. No, my issues go deep, go deeper than any of this. First issue is, originally Michael Bay was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make them aliens. And we all said, no, that's not okay. It has to be the origin story. You can't mess with that. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And then Michael Bay was like, okay, I get it. I see your problem here. So, we're gonna have it be an experiment gone wrong between Shredder and April O'Neil's dad. No, why does her dad need to be involved? I don't understand. I would also like to say for the record that I have no problem with Megan Fox and I will not be slandering her in any way, shape, or form on this show. I think that she's a lovely person. Her dad doesn't need to be involved. She doesn't need to be more involved than she already was as just their friend. That was far more engaging and interesting, where she was just like, oh, I'm gonna become your friend even though I'm a human and you guys look super crazy, and then you're like, wow, that's an interesting relationship, and then that's all you need. Also, let's talk about the fact that the turtles are huge. In the original animated show, they were shorter than April. When you watch this trailer, they are massive. The most that shows have been able to get away with is having them be about the same size as April, maybe a little bit taller. These dudes are huge! Like, why do they gotta be that big? I loved that aspect of them. I loved that they were like kinda short, cause I'm kinda short, you know? Representation, but no. Michael Bay wants this to be a serious film, and at the very end he was like, we'll stick a little bit of humor in there so everybody knows we're keeping to the feel of what it means to be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It didn't work. Shredder was like there for a split second. What? Is Shredder not actually gonna be all that involved? Is it actually gonna be about big business? I'm sick of big business being the big bad guy. Or maybe Shredder is big business? I give up. I'm done with this. For any of you who play Titanfall, you might have heard that the multiplayer matchups have been changed a little bit. They've made it now so that there's a matchup system within the game where if you as a team are playing against a team that is just slaughtering you, then the game will go, oh, this team is really good. I'll put them against another team that is showing that they're really good. And then the other team that needs to, you know, practice a bit more before they can fight those guys gets to fight people that are actually in their league. So it matches people up a bit better. But anyway, I don't actually think that that is the most interesting piece of news to come out about multiplayer matchups within Titanfall this week. I think that the most interesting part is the new fair fight system. So sirs and madams, imagine if you will, you are in a game, you are using a bug of some sort to cheat, allow you to be much better at the game. The game realizes that you're cheating, and then decides, you know what, I'm just gonna pop you into a game with other cheaters. How terrifying would that game be? To just be playing against so many other cheaters. So instead of the game actually banning you, you get banned into a totally different game mode altogether. Now a question that has come up is, if I have a friend who's banned and I add him to my team and then we go into a match, can he play? The answer being, if you have a banned person in your team, then you will play in fair fight. So even if you are not banned, you will be in a cheaters match. But that won't automatically make you banned. There's no guilt by association here, and it doesn't accumulate where suddenly you'll be banned if you play with cheaters too many times. It's nothing like that. It just means that if you have a banned person in your group, then that banned person, that's not a loophole. A banned person is still gonna be in a cheaters match and drag everybody with them. Also, if you think you've been banned unjustly, you should email anticheat@respawn.com. I love the idea of fair fight because I can see the punishment being really interesting. Like, I kind of want to just be a spectator in those games and just be like, what is going on? After 2 months in alpha, EverQuest Landmark is going into closed beta. Now the question is, what happens to all those beautiful things that everyone made while they were in alpha? Do those transfer over? The answer, unfortunately, is no. So let's thank our lucky stars that everything got pretty well archived. Like, people took pictures, people took videos, there's so much stuff that you can find of what's already been built just in alpha, and it's all beautiful. But unfortunately, yes, the game will be wiped, there will be a totally clean slate. But I think that it's interesting because if you look up like highlight videos and things like that, there's so many people that are like, wow, I thought that maybe the detail would be pretty limited, and it is not. There have been some seriously gorgeous things that people have made in EverQuest Landmark. I would absolutely suggest that you go onto YouTube and look up EQ Landmark highlight video or something along those lines. I actually think there are a couple that were highlighted on the EverQuest Landmark site, but they're just great. Like, the things that are being built already are awesome, so I can't wait to see as it ramps. For those of you who happen to love Origin, which may be far and few between, maybe it's a lot of you, maybe you're a silent majority and just nobody knows. On April 4th, Origin will be going digital only. So what that means is through Origin you will no longer be able to purchase physical copies of any games. That does not mean that EA is stopping developing physical games, it just means that Origin is going to be a completely digitally focused system. Some of you might be thinking to yourselves right now, I didn't even know you could buy physical things on Origin. Right? Me neither. I also, and maybe I'm not looking at this from the right direction, but I also don't understand what the point of doing this is because Origin is owned by EA. It is the official EA distribution service on the internet, even though it fails constantly. But like, why take away yet another opportunity for people to buy something from you, right? Like, I don't understand what the point is of saying, you can't get the physical version on here. You could before, but you can't anymore. It's like, okay, then I guess I won't buy it. The Consumerist Worst Company in America awards are going on yet again. Now you might be thinking to yourself, well, we all know who's gonna win. The reigning champ of the last 2 years, EA. Oh no, gentle viewer. No, no, no. EA was knocked out in the very first round by none other than Time Warner Cable. With 51.2% of the vote, Time Warner Cable won by a hair. So EA is completely out now, but SeaWorld is in the quarterfinals. So for those of you who are kind of confused, it's like tournament style. So it's like they pit 2 companies against each other and everybody votes. And then they wait a few days, and then they pit 2 companies against each other again and everybody votes. So there are only a couple that have moved on to the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals have not yet begun. It's still technically first round, I think, or maybe second round. No, we're in second round right now. If you want to participate, if you feel very strongly about companies in America, you should go onto the Consumerist website because it's like, it's kind of funny. Oh my gosh, are we on the last topic already? Dang. Got a fart. I farted, it was silent though. Okay, let's talk about the actual stuff. I know that you all came here because you want to hear about the Oculus Rift, but I left it till the end, so there. Probably a lot of you that just stopped watching. Maybe I hurt myself in the end with this. But big news is that Facebook bought Oculus for a cool $2 billion. That was billion, I might have slurred that a little bit. Billion. Now, this has caused quite the uproar. A lot of people do not trust Facebook. They feel that Facebook continually betrays our trust, and applying it to something like the Oculus Rift is a little bit scary, the idea of them having access to the next generation of technology. Press releases are a little weird. They're all in the style of, oh, we understand that the Oculus Rift has been developed for games, but after that, everybody who backed it is just sitting there going, no. Even Notch was like, yo, I'm not gonna develop Minecraft for the Oculus anymore. I don't want anything to do with Facebook. It's hard because Facebook is a way to reach so many people. It is, unfortunately, the ultimate social tool at this time. So being involved with them, having access to the myriad of things they have access to, is great. But there's that element of, oh, what's the term? It's like before when we were talking about Titanfall and I mentioned guilt by association. It feels like guilt by association now. There are people like, I don't want anything to do with Oculus anymore. I might not even buy one. What's Sony doing? That Morpheus thing? Cool, maybe I'll do that. So hopefully it'll kind of be like when Marvel was bought, and Marvel for the most part was left alone to do what it needed to do. I would love to see that. I would love to see Facebook just be like, hey, if you need us, let us know, but otherwise just keep doing your thing. Oh, thanks, we will. This isn't an Oculus, it's just a CD case. What's in here? This is old. Oh, X-Men. Whoa, I was just talking about Marvel, everything's coming together. Anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I hope you guys have had a fantastic week, and I will talk to you again next weekend. Bye-bye! Okay, then I guess I won't buy it.